Fresh off his walk, Rick Forney with us. It is Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy, Week 7. Can you believe it? After this, there's only three to go. And this is our final one of the month of March. More on that in just a moment. We'll have two more player signings here this week. Also, in our player feature segment, we have Jack Nedrow, pitcher who we announced his signing last week. He joins us next. There might be another surprise that we're trying to iron out behind the scenes. We'll see, as far as a player interview goes. But no surprise. We're just happy to see him every week at this time or hear from him on radio. That would be the man himself, Rick Forney. Hello, Rick.
Here I am, pal.
You're looking well.
I survived my walk.
Yeah. How was it out there this morning?
Beautiful, beautiful. Mid 50s, nice and calm. It was great. And I didn't get hit by a car.
Even better. I envision you being so fast that like bugs just splatter on your glasses, like on a windshield.
Some days my pace is really good, and then other days I'm dragging. It just depends. I can't get any consistency out of my pace. But there's a couple monster hills that I start out on, which sometimes I can work through them and have no issues, and sometimes it's just one of those
Yeah,
days. So I still make it through it and cut it a little short today because I wanted to rush home and talk to you. So
understandable.
got the work in.
Nice. Yesterday when it was so nice out, I put on a weighted vest for my walk.
Shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
I, I'd pay good money to see that.
It wasn't pretty, but
I don't know if I believe it. Every time Wolfie and I invite you to come on walks, you're nowhere to be found, or you all of a sudden have some stuff to do in the mornings and you can't find your way to join us. So maybe this year.
I'm very busy. But yeah,
Bring that vest.
keep asking me. Yeah, I will. I will. I'll show you.
We
What's
solve all the world's problems on those walks, baby.
That's what I hear. And then you work up your appetite for a trip to Haas's and fill out a lineup card and call it a day.
Yeah, that's basically what our day looks like.
Um, let's see. Well, first of all, it's good to see that everything is like your electric works, your lights are on, made it through last week.
We did. You
Uh,
know what? That big storm that came through last week while I was talking to you lasted about 10 minutes, and that was it. It didn't get really windy until like 9 o'clock at night. Those strong thunderstorms and tornado warnings and big golf ball size hail never showed up.
Same here. That's the exact same. Exact
Yeah,
same.
kids got out of school like 3 hours early, and nothing really happened.
Yeah, that was the biggest storm of all was in my house with all the kids getting home early.
uh, Learn to love it because they'll be out of your house before you know it.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's people joke about how the forecast is always wrong, but the thing that concerns me is one of these times, something is going to happen and people are just going to laugh it off like, oh, they get it wrong all the time. Then something
Yeah,
will happen.
yeah. There was supposedly one of the tornadoes touched down about 20 minutes from here. They confirmed it, but it was during that morning storm. But I mean, it wasn't much to talk about, but they said it was an actual tornado. I didn't see it. It wasn't close enough for us to witness it, but I
Yeah.
guess evidently it did.
Wow. All right. Well, good show, Rick. Thank you again, and
Talk to you later.
we'll have you on next time. Uh, actually, so this is our last show of March, and here's the reason. This is a Monday, obviously. We typically do these on Monday, as our regular listeners know. Next Monday would be March 30th. That'll actually be the start of the Phillies' second series of the season. They have a 6:40 game or whatever, which means that they're on the air right after six. So it makes sense for us to carry their broadcast, whereas Wednesday, April 1st, they play in the afternoon, which means on radio, our evening is open. And it also means if we just wait two more days until April 1st, we can announce whoever the heck we want without the shackles and restrictions placed upon us. So next week we'll talk to you on Wednesday. But we are getting closer, Rick. About 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a lot of activity in that clubhouse in right field. What do the next couple of weeks look like for you? And then as we
Busy.
gather here in York and get started.
Busy. I think everybody's roster is still evolving at this point. I don't think anybody's set. Maybe a couple teams have a lot of guys signed, but looks like the rest of us still have some holes that we need to fill. There was a lot of releases over the last week, so especially the last 72 hours. So there's a lot of uh, emails and things that we need to sift through to start looking up some of these players and start reaching out and making some contacts. And hopefully, the clubs in this league will be able to secure some more players to come join us for the 26th season. But still some work to do and some roster spots that we need to get figured out here in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, it's going to be busy.
Got a little trip to Hagerstown next week. I'm not sold on joining you. I'll be honest with you. I
Yeah,
don't know
the
about that.
managers meeting looks like it's Monday night at 6:30, and I'm sure we'll be there for a little while talking about many different topics. And then the tryout camp is Hagerstown on Tuesday and Wednesday, and obviously Tuesday's a pretty full day. You start there pretty early. I think it's 9 or 10 a.m. The festivities will kick off and probably won't end until I guess 7 o'clock at night. It's a long day, depending on how many people show up. I didn't really ask to see what they have pre-registered, so it could be a long day, and then you're back out there again for the final piece of it on Wednesday, and then they have a player draft, and then off we go.
And am I right? This year's spring training is a little bit longer than it had been before? Or am I
Uh,
just,
I'm not sure about the length of spring training, and I don't know that everybody's dates are all the same. I know we have physicals on the 7th only because that's the only time Wellspan could fit us in there. So
oh,
we're going to have to make that work. We don't really have any flexibility on that. But in terms of actual days, I haven't really looked at it compared to years past.
I see. Well, we do start a few days earlier, April 21st, and it's coming. So, Rick, we have two player signings tonight, and one's a new guy and one's a returning fan favorite, which in this business we call a tease. So we'll make people stay tuned to hear who that is later in the show. But let's let's start with the new arm that's headed to York here this season. Who do we have?
Yeah, signed right-handed pitcher Nicholas Regalado. Got a call from a good friend of mine. I think it might have been December about Nicholas, and he was looking to find a place to play. wasn't confident that they were going to land another opportunity in affiliated ball, and did a little bit of research on him. Good young right-hander. He'll be turning 24 um, in May, but pitches in Puerto Rico in the wintertime. Got some couple years of Double A experience. Really, really nice kid to talk to on the phone. Still hungry. Um, has the ability to get some punch outs. So we're going to have a good look at him. I think there's some real upside to Nicholas.
Yeah, former Miami Hurricane, and doggone it, I just lost my thing. He was in the Royals system, reaching Double A, and he's been a career reliever, right? Is that where you see him fitting?
Started in college and started in the Cape Cod League. So again, he's one of those guys that can start or relieve for you, and you just never know how things are going to shake out. But I think he's capable of doing both. We'll just have to see. I'd like to give him an opportunity to stretch him out and see what he can do for us. I mean, I think he throws enough strikes. His stuff is good enough. So um, that stuff will be answered here soon, I guess, as to what his specific role is going to be. I mean, we may have to use 6 starters that first week, and we may have to piggyback some people. Just depends on what the overall health of the group is. I mean, you're never sure till you get your eyes on it as to um, what their off-season preparation was and what it actually looks like when it gets on your job site. So uh, we'll see. He can do a couple different things for us.
Well, you know me, I like to ask you to commit and
I
ask
know.
you questions that you can't answer.
I think you know what my answers are. Is that I'm never going to answer you directly until I know for a fact as to what I'm going to do. So I'm pretty good at stick handling around some of those questions if I'm unsure.
You are. It's just it's a big game to me. I find joy in it. But
I know you do.
but for Regalado, does he go by Nick? Or are we going to call him Nicholas until we know for sure?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've always called him Nicholas. His agent calls him Nicholas. So
Okay.
I guess when we get face to face, we'll figure that one out as well.
Until further notice, Nicholas it shall be. Regalado, 4 years in the Royals system and good numbers, 11 and 7 with a 4.12 ERA, four starts in the minors, but mostly in relief at that level. Good hits to innings, nine, almost 10 fewer hits than innings. About a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 10 and a half Ks per nine. At the high A level. Uh, he's had a career ERA of 371, 335 at single A, so some really good seasons on the way up. And yeah, joining your pitching staff here in 2026. How much, when you talk about how much more you have to do behind the scenes, is it a little bit of everything or is it more pitching at this
Yes.
point? Okay, okay.
Pitching. Yeah, still looking for a left-handed impact bat. Um, yeah, there's a couple pieces that we still need to get.
Okay. Well, Nicholas Regalado is a good one to add to that mix. He is our first player signing here this week. We'll take a break. Jack Nedrow joins us in the player segment next. And then again, we have one of the all-time fan favorites in recent history set to come back to the Revs, and Rick will unveil who that is in our third segment. Stay with us here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Welcome back here on Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. We'll get back to Rick Forney for another player signing coming up in our next segment. But right now, in the hot seat, our player segment here this week is Jack Nedrow, and we announced his signing a week ago. Jack, welcome. Not in York yet, but welcome to York officially, and great to meet you. Looking forward to having you
Yeah,
here.
thank you. Good to meet you. I'm excited to get up there.
So, where are we catching you right now?
I'm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just south of Nashville.
And that's where born and raised, right?
Born and raised, yes, sir.
When you went to Division II Lee University and a tremendous career there, Conference Pitcher of the Year, All-American, is that near where you grew up?
It's about 2 hours. It's right outside of Chattanooga, so
Okay,
it's about 2 hours east of me.
gotcha. How have you spent your first off season as a professional pitcher?
I've done a lot of training, and I am blessed enough to where my dad, he owns a small business, and I get to work with him. So I'm real lucky that I get to do that in the mornings, and then he lets me go train and get all my work done in the afternoons.
Oh, so is he letting you on break right now to do this?
He is a little, well, we had to come home to meet an electrician. We're getting
Okay.
something put in, so I got a little bit of time away.
Okay. Can I ask you what's the business? What other skills do you have other than finding the strike zone?
So he sells wastewater treatment, so like pumps. So he sells poop pumps pretty much. So growing up, I worked in the back fixing them, so I know how to clean and fix a poop pump if anybody ever needs that to be done for them.
My guess is that's a skill you want to be batting 1,000 at, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can get pretty dirty in some gross ways if you're not good at
Man, that
it.
might, I mean, honestly, that pressure might make being on the mound a little bit easier.
I'd say so, yeah.
Oh man. Well, how will you spend the next couple of weeks before you make the trip up here?
Getting a little bit of longer bullpens, making sure I'm built up whenever I get there, and pretty much just doing the same thing, making sure that my body's ready, making sure I'm ready to take on. Last year I threw a lot of innings and I could feel it at the end, so I want to make sure this year that I'm ready to throw however many innings necessary, and that my body's able to handle it. And I don't have, at the end, the body just started to not feel as great. The velo was going down a little bit, and so I just want to make sure that we don't run into that again this year.
Talking with Jack Nedrow. So where is your velo normally and what all do you feature stuff wise?
I'll be around 89 to 91 in games, hitting 93 so far in bullpens. I've been a little bit a tick or two above that, so I'm real happy about that. And then my best pitch has been my cutter throughout the last like 2, 3 years. I learned it playing college summer ball, and it quickly became my best pitch. And somebody that has really like instilled a lot of confidence in a new pitch in me was Chance Cisco, who is the reason that I'm going to be playing for York this year. He made a recommendation for me, and I got the call pretty soon after. So that he really trusted my curveball, and he wanted me to trust it more because I didn't think it was that great of a pitch, and he really taught me that yeah, it's a good pitch. You need to use it more. So throwing that a lot and getting a lot more confidence in it, and developing a new changeup has been important for me this offseason.
I remember a few years ago, Chance Cisco came in here and hit 3 home runs against us, and I'm like, that darn Chance Cisco, but now he's the reason we have you.
I hope, yeah, hopefully it works out. He was awesome to get to play with. Um, couldn't have asked for a better first professional catcher. Really,
Yeah.
you couldn't have.
How did you end up, when you're coming out of University of South Florida, you're looking to get your pro career started. How did Chicago end up being where you landed?
Our pitching coach at USF, Daniel Schlereth, he knew he was the manager in Joliet for a little bit, so he knew a lot about like indie ball, especially in the Chicago area. And he was like, Chicago's a great spot. We were looking through in my exit interview. They were like, listen, if you want to keep playing, we think you should go ahead and start playing indie ball. So we want to put you in the best possible situation. So, we started looking through me and Schlereth, and he decided like he was like, listen, Chicago could be a great spot. So he texted up Matt Passarelli, and I was in there. I was there within like a week.
Yeah.
So
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Daniel pitch in the Atlantic League for a little bit?
I think
That's
so. I don't know where all he made a lot of stops throughout his career, so I don't know where all he ended up, but I think so. I think.
Mark Schlereth's son. Is that
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Sure.
Uh, so did Chance put you directly in touch with Rick?
I think I think he gave Rick my number,
Okay.
and then I got a phone call with him. Like Chance told me he was like, "Hey, I was talking to Rick Forney over at York, and I recommended him to you, so you might be getting a call here." So I got a call, I think, the next day.
Sweet. Had you ever heard of York beforehand?
I had.
Okay.
There's actually some people in the wastewater business that we work with that are from York.
No kidding.
So that was funny. Whenever he told him I was going there, they're like, "No way! I just got married up there."
Really? That's so cool. Um, what have you heard about York and the stadium and
Oh, I've heard it's
the
awesome.
fan base? Yeah.
I heard nothing but great things, so I'm real excited to get up there.
One thing, and we're talking with Jack Nedrow here, we announced his signing last week. One thing that really stands out is you've had tremendous command through your career in college and your first year in the pros. How did you develop that? I mean, have you always been blessed with that feel, or is it something that you can pinpoint, something you worked on coming up?
I think I've always naturally been able to command the ball, and that's something that definitely, it wasn't. It's always getting better. It's never perfect, and it's something you always want to get better at. I think definitely my 3 years at Lee helped develop that command even more, and then my last year over at USF with Schlereth, that was a huge point of emphasis, and man, it got even better. I honestly couldn't believe sometimes the amount of free bases that I was not giving up. And how much I was in. So we'd get done with games, and they would tell me my strike percentage, and I was just like, I mean, I'm not even thinking about it up there. I'm just trying to go compete in the zone as much as possible. And it just at the end of the day, you look up and it's a good number as far as strike percentage goes.
Yeah. What was USF like? I mean, D1 campus, I know it's in Tampa. I'm imagining it's beautiful. What would you say about your time there?
I loved my time there. That was some of the most fun baseball I've ever had. I learned a lot about myself as a pitcher, as a person. I had Probably my lowest point in baseball was early in the year, and then some of my highest points in baseball were later in the year after bouncing back after a bad start or something like that. And man, I love the coaching staff more than anything. One of my best friends is on the coaching staff there now. I made some of my best friends on the team there too. Like it was amazing.
Well, so when you went from there to Chicago and make your pro debut, I mean, your first few outings were storybook stuff for a pro debut. Uh, I think it was what, four scoreless in your first outing. What do you remember about what was going through you? What were you feeling when you got on the pro mound for the first time?
Honestly, it's just telling yourself like you're good enough to be there. You need to just go and do your thing and show it. So it was really me just being as competitive as I possibly could. And going back to Schlereth, one of the things that I learned with him whenever I made the jump from D2 to D1 was you're good enough to be here. You don't need to do any more than you don't need to try to do any more than what you are right now. So just go up there and trust your stuff and just be as competitive as you can be. So that was really the same mindset I took going from the D1 to pro was like, I'm here for a reason. I know I can do it. I just need to go trust myself and go compete.
Well, we'll wrap it up, Jack, with just getting to know you a little bit further off the field. When you're away from baseball, what are you into? What do you like to do?
I like to play video games. I've actually got my setup right here.
That is nice.
I like to play golf, even though I'm not very good at it. But you know, whatever. And I've had fun working with my dad this year. I don't have to be in the shop fixing the pumps as much anymore, so it's more just learning about business, and that's been a lot more fun than fixing the pumps and getting
Cool.
money.
Yeah. What did you study in school?
Sorry,
What did you study when you were in school?
I ended up with a general studies degree from South Florida.
Okay, nice. And then gaming, what's the game of choice right now?
Right now, it's a lot of Rocket League and a lot of MLB The Show.
Oh,
That's the
nice.
rotation.
Yeah. As far as the golf, Jack, you'll fit in well. There's a group of guys that are out every Monday. We got some good courses in York, so you'll enjoy that. I always ask guys also, I mean, did you grow up playing other sports and what was your background sports wise?
I wrestled when I was a kid, so that'll fit
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania, but I was awful at it and a lot worse than I am at golf. And I played football all the way up until the end of high school.
Okay. Well, what position were you there?
I was a quarterback.
Oh, all right. Dropping some dimes out there too.
Tried to.
Who were the teams that you grew up rooting for living in Tennessee?
Weirdly enough, baseball. I grew up a Red Sox fan. I have a lot of
Really?
family in Boston. First MLB game I ever went to was the 2013 ALCS Game One, Red Sox versus Tigers at Fenway, and so that was an unbelievable first game to ever go to. Um, I mean, Anibal Sanchez threw a one hitter for the Tigers. I'll never forget that. But being at Fenway, being in the environment, being with my family, it's something I'll never forget. So that made me a Red Sox fan. And then football, Titans, right here. And then when
Mhm.
I went to Tampa, going to Bucks games was fun. So I'm a little Bucks fan on the side. They're in the NFC, so I can root for them a little bit.
Okay, good deal. Very good. Well, Jack, we appreciate the time very much. Looking forward to having you up here in a couple weeks now. It's just about time. So thanks for taking a few minutes out. Thank your dad for us as well.
I
And
will.
and we'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Thank you so much. Can't wait.
All right, Jack Nedrow joining us. We'll get back to Rick right after this. Welcome back here on Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Certainly enjoyed our chat with Jack Nedrow. We appreciate his time. Uh, Rick, you didn't get to hear his interview, but he's working with his dad. We basically caught him on break, and he's going back to helping with basically poop pumps,
Oh
like
my.
wastewater. So, if he's in a jam on the mound, my guess is he's been in bigger jams than that.
I'd say must be good with his hands. What a
I,
skill!
I
What a skill to have.
I would think, yes. This is
So
why
he's
we ask
cleaning
these
out septic
questions.
tanks. Is that what he's doing?
Well, his dad owns a wastewater like treatment company.
Okay.
So he has done that. He said this off season more of the business side, but um, maybe
Well,
now
you
that
got to learn the other part too, right?
he has learned the other part, yes. So just I figured
Interesting.
I'd update you on how he's doing.
Glad
So,
he's working. You got to make the ends meet.
that's right. But that was a great chat with him, and
Cool.
welcome you back, Rick. And if folks are just tuning in, we had Nicholas Regalado, right-hander from the Royals system from Miami. He was our first player signing announced in the first segment. Another young guy who will turn 24 in May. How about this next spring chicken who's coming back to your team in 2026? And listen closely, Revs fans. Who do we have returning?
Yeah, we're going to bring back one of our favorite guys. We're going to bring back right-handed pitcher Chris Valamont, and we're excited to announce that he's coming back for the 26th season. Obviously, he's had really good experiences here and loves playing in York, loves the fan base, and um, he's been our guy for a couple of years. Just a real horse, and gives you everything he's got when he goes out there. And you know for certain that when it's his day to pitch, he's all business, and you're going to have a chance to win.
Yeah, it's not only an ace on the mound. It's sometimes it's a show because he's so intense, and I think the fans feed off that. And I'll never forget a couple of those playoff starts that he made this past year. Obviously, the one in the championship series was one of the greatest single game pitching performances in Atlantic League history.
Yeah, he's an emotional guy, and he competes really hard, and um, that's his day, and it means a lot to him, regardless of what's on the line. And um, you know he's going to go to war out there, and sometimes he probably does and says some things that really he doesn't mean, but it just comes out. It just comes out of him, and you can't control it all the time. But um, he's great to have on your team. He's one of those guys, great to have on your team, and you hate him when he's on the other team. And um, we're excited to have him back. He's great in the clubhouse. He does an unbelievable job interacting with the fans and the kids, and just we love him in York.
Yeah. When you go back a couple of years ago when you first brought him here, what was your connection? Just the agent, or how did you end up with?
Uh, Honestly, I just kind of reached out. I saw he was a Pennsylvania guy and was on that free agent list, and just kind of talked with his agent, kind of stayed in constant contact with him, Chris and the agent. And honestly, it really came together last minute. Some things fell apart um, with, I believe, some jobs over in Asia, and Chris just needed a place to land. And he came with us and was great, and got picked up twice. Once by the Diamondbacks, then for some reason didn't pass their physical, and then came back right back to us. And the Dodgers picked him up maybe a couple of weeks later. I don't remember the exact timeline of it, but um, yeah, I didn't know him previously. Just kind of reached out to him just on a whim, hoping he might entertain the opportunity of pitching in York in the Atlantic League. And if he needed a spot, I wanted to make sure he knew that uh, we'd welcome him with open arms. And it's kind of been that way ever since he's been here. He knows that as long as he wants to pitch, he's got a spot with me whenever he needs it.
Yeah. He's had a huge impact on Rev's history. I don't know that we're, designing rings the last 2 years without his contributions. Are you a little surprised that he was available at this point this year?
Um, yes and no. I mean, to be honest with you, nothing really surprises me nowadays with the way the landscape is with affiliated baseball and Mexico. I mean, there's no certainties, and there's guys that have really good resumes and that are really good that just aren't getting opportunities anymore. And the fact of the matter is, for some guys, you run out of opportunities, and you got to find a way to create a new one if you're going to keep your career alive. But um, he went to winter ball and it didn't necessarily work out. I think he was in the Dominican. Then he got bit by some spider, and he was supposed to go to Puerto Rico and pitch in the playoffs or something to that effect. And it just all fell apart at the last minute. And I think it was going to be a pivotal winter ball season for him because he needed to pitch and pitch well to earn another opportunity in Mexico, and it just never materialized.
Man, these insects seem to follow him around.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, the guy got eaten alive in that hotel in Southern Maryland a couple years ago, and with the bed bugs and that Black Widow. I think it was the Black Widow that was all over him and Aaron Fletcher in two separate rooms. The guys are coming to the field with welts all over them and red spots. And yeah, and Valley always seems to be that guy that's right in the middle of it. So
Unbelievable.
maybe he's meant to be Spider-Man or something. I don't know.
I mean, he is the ninja come postseason time when he puts on that getup,
Well, that's
covers his
just
face.
yeah, he's a rascal. That's Chris.
Yeah, he's almost superhero like. Last year, once he hit his stride, so he finished up for you in the regular season 9-4 with a 4.96. There were a couple outings early that were rough when he was just getting out of Mexico. I guess he had like a month in between where he took some time off before coming here, and but once he
Yeah,
hit that stride, I don't know who was better. I mean, you could
yeah,
count on 7 innings, 10 strikeouts or more
yeah.
every time you put him out there those last couple months.
Yeah, he was as good as he's going to get in indie ball, that's for sure. And I mean, things didn't go well in Mexico for a few different reasons, and never got his footing on the ground. I don't think he was 100% healthy for some reason either, and tried to pitch through some things. And he came home and took a little bit of time off and kind of started working on his game a little bit and get his delivery honed in. And then when he came to us, you could tell he's still knocking off some rust, and he was making some mistakes that he probably shouldn't have made. It wound up costing him some runs and inflated his ERA a little bit. But you're right. Once he hit his stride, he was fantastic for us. He was giving us the length that we were desperate for, and um, he was able to keep some of those bullpen arms out of the mix. And he's not afraid to stay out there. I mean, he wants to pitch deep into games. He doesn't want to come out, and which is also a rarity these days. I mean, a lot of guys are comfortable throwing 5 innings and happy coming out of the game with a lead in 5 good innings. But Chris, he'll give you 21 outs, 24 outs, 27 outs if he's pitching well and if we need him.
Yeah, he has started in 2 years now. He's begun to crack some of those top 10 Revs lists of strikeouts and wins. And like I said, he's definitely made his mark in 2 partial seasons so far with York, no question about it. Have you, in all of your championship teams, have you always had a guy like that? I mean, there's nobody like him, but have you
No,
always had an ace or?
well, you have to have a number one or number two, or you're usually not getting to that situation without having some multiple starters that can get you some length and obviously make you feel really, really warm and fuzzy about your chances of winning that day. But I don't know that I've had a guy over multiple years. I had a guy in Winnipeg. His name was Ace Walker that took the ball and threw a lot of innings, and he was really good in the season during the season. And he pitched for you in the postseason, but not no, he wasn't as effective in the postseason as he was during the regular season. And 16 and 17, I had really good teams and wound up winning championships, but I wouldn't say I had a guy as talented as Chris that was pitching game one. I had some guys who they're formidable. They weren't chopped liver, you know what I mean? They were really good starting pitchers and had good seasons, but they weren't the type of guy that can go out there and did what Chris did in the finals, where you just out there completely dominate one of the best teams in the league that had a lineup stacked full of really, really good hitters and just totally just manhandle them for 9 innings. I mean, I didn't have one of those guys, and you just don't get starts like that. It's just one of the most impressive starts that I've seen in postseason play in independent history.
Yeah. And when he was 2 outs in the ninth and about to put it away, that was about as electric as I can remember our environment being,
Yeah,
certainly up there. So,
yeah, he created that. I mean, it's all
yep.
about the emotion and the energy and what he put into that effort, and the fans in York certainly appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, Rick, we appreciate your time. Again, we'll I don't know what I'm gonna do next Monday and Tuesday, having to wait till Wednesday, but
How
I
about
know
watch the Phillies or the Orioles or Pirates or somebody?
that's what I'll do. As much as
How
we
how the Eagles doing in their free agency?
a little quiet, but you never know what how he has up his. He's had a couple astute moves, I think. Defensive end, I believe, and a corner from Seattle. So you know they can't do. They got Goddard back on a 1 year team friendly deal, so some smart moves, which is what I was hoping for.
He'll pull something off. He's the best.
Yeah, how about your Skins?
I don't know about the Redskins. They got a good. They got the guy that used to be with the Ravens, the defensive end. Is it Owe? Owe? Who is he
Oh,
with the Broncos? Pass rusher, really good. They gave him a
yeah,
big contract and they spent some money on their defensive side, which was really bad last year. So hopefully it can't get any worse. We just got to keep our quarterback in the game.
yes, yes, you do. Um, well, I know as much as you like talking to me, you do need to go
Yeah, got to find some
attempt to
guys.
talk to some future players, so we'll let you go. But
All right, buddy.
thank you, Rick. I will
Thanks for having me.
talk to you next week. Yes, sir.
See you, buddy. Bye bye.
All right, we'll see you.
Revolution!